Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. Today I am doing a video hop. This is with a group of artists from AJOS. We've all shared backgrounds, and the idea is to take one of those and use it in your own work and create something. So I showed you really quick the backgrounds, and then I showed you really quick just jelly printing, kind of just getting matte medium on the surface of all of those because I printed it on an inkjet printer and I didn't want it to bleed. But this is a video hop, and there will be links down below. If you just pick the next one, you'll see the next video, and you do the first one in their link, and it'll just take you all the way around until you come back to the first one you've seen. The backgrounds I decided to use were these. I was attracted to one in particular, and these kind of went with it. And I did, just before I started this voiceover, I went and looked to see whose art, because they look like they were kind of done at the same time or with the same colors and stuff. And it looks like Hanny, and I think her last name is pronounced Trump. She has a YouTube channel, and I'm pretty sure she has a video, so it'll be in the link below too. So I just decided to take her papers, and I am using cardboard as my substrate. I did some gesso over the top, then I covered the edges with just regular plain old masking tape, just so I don't have the corrugated edges. And then I'm going to collage this on. This was like almost 2 hours of video compressed into, I think it ends up being like 16 or 17 minutes. I was trying to get it down to 15, so it is fast and it is edited. But I really had fun doing this. I had no idea what I was going to do. I just knew that I wanted to do something that had depth and dimension to it. So I figured I would use the cardboard to give me that depth. So you saw I got the background done. Had a few gaps, but it's okay. I figure it will just disappear when we finish it. And so now I'm cutting another piece of cardboard down into some rectangles of different sizes for different levels, and we're going to collage some more of Hanny's background onto these ones. I'm just trying to decide how long I want it. Decided I want it shorter. And yeah, everything slips. There we go. So I do that, and then I get a few different sizes, you can see. And then there's this piece of paper. This was the one that was the main one I picked. And so I'm going to put that blue section that goes right down the middle of this paper. It's going to go on these two pieces of cardboard. If you haven't heard of AJOS, there will be a link to the Facebook group in the description box below. It's a really fun group. It's a safe place to share your art and to see what other people are creating. It's put on by Peg Robinson and Chelsea, and they have a weekly live video, which I don't usually get to watch it live because I'm working, but it's always fun to see what they're creating and chat with the other people that are there watching the live. Cardboard is soaking up that matte medium, so I had to keep putting layers on there to get it to stick. And I just keep working with all the different sizes and using up most of that sheet of paper, background paper. And for time, we'll just skip to the next part. Alright, so I wanted to kind of shade around the edges, add the blue to the background. So I just took some, I think it's called indithyrene blue. It's one I'm not familiar with, but I'm really liking the blue color. Added a little bit of gel medium just to thin it out a bit. I didn't want to completely obliterate what was already there. And I go around it a couple of times just to get the edges kind of dark. Alright, so here are my blocks, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to lay them out. And I decide the edges need to be darkened. So I decide to just take that leftover blue paint and just put a little bit around the edges, just barely, just to give it kind of a line. And I did it with this paint mainly because I had this paint left over. Probably a better, crisper idea would have been to use a marker, but I had the paint, so I used it. And I go around each and every one of those cardboard blocks, but I don't make you watch that. So there it kind of gives it a line, I think. And I'm just going to take 3-in-1, glue it on. There, it's done. See the editing? Okay, so now I felt like there needed to be some other layer, and I was trying to decide from the stuff I'd already printed what would go. So I end up using one that is just super pale. This was actually one that I submitted, but when I printed it off, it printed like super light. I mean, it was already a light background, but my printer like prints everything really light. It's not low on ink, so I don't know how to calibrate it to get it to print right. Anyway. So I'm just taking a Robin McClendon's script stencil and doing a line of scripting because I thought that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I think it gives the whole thing kind of an Asian vibe. So now I've cut that out and I'm going in with that blue again. This time I don't dilute it. I just do the straight paint since it's going on the cardboard. I want it to be a little bit more opaque. And create kind of a dark border. And filling in all the cardboardy edges. So at this point I have an idea of what else I want to add, so I'm taking a piece of vellum and putting that blue paint on it, and then it's just a scrap piece, and then I have a scrap piece of 300-pound watercolor paper and kind of wet it and put some of that paint on there too. That way it can be drying while I collage this down, and I'm just doing the matte medium. I'm giving it a double coat because that cardboard soaks it in so well. Just collage that down. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace this just hand-drawn little butterfly pattern. And I have these pieces of wire. They were actually part of an old remote control car that was tossed out. I'm like, I could use that wire, and it's been sitting around for a while now, and I decided here this was the time to use it. So I'm gonna glue these butterflies onto this wire and then attach it to the piece somehow. And I'm just using 3-in-1 because that's what I had, and hoping that it will stick. I tried to have a good curve in that wire. There's one that's like didn't want to straighten out, and this is not like crafting wire or, you know, jeweler's wire. This is like steel. It's like hard wire. It's like a really hard wire. Alright. See, that worked, right? Alright, so now I've got my piece, and I'm going to put that on there. And then we're going to put these butterflies coming out of there somehow. Trying to figure it out. Alright, so I decide that it needs to be bumped up more so that the butterflies will kind of float above the surface of the piece rather than being pushed onto them. So I got an extra piece of cardboard to go between them and the surface of the work. So that's why there's another layer there. And I'm probably not making any sense, but you'll see. Hopefully. And that one's bending the wrong direction. It does not want to go the other way. Oh, yeah. Probably jeweler's wire, crafter wire would have been better. But you use what you got, right? Alright, so I'm deciding where that's going to go, and then I'm going to glue it down, and then we'll figure out the butterflies. And this is a cardboard thing, so it's kind of bowing, so I put weight on it to try and hold it flat. So I decide to put little cubes of cardboard underneath the first butterfly in each of them to help push the butterflies away from the surface. It helps a little bit. But even doing that, I feel like they get lost. Because it is a really busy piece. So then I decide to take a white marker, paint marker, and just go around them, hoping that that will help them stand out a little bit more. I'm checking out, I'm like, yeah, kind of okay. So I don't think there's much left, but I think that does help them stand out a little bit more, do you think? But don't forget to check the description box below. Go to the next one and check it out. Hanny, I hope you liked what I did with your papers, and there'll be close-ups and a photo montage at the end, so check it out. And if you're new to my channel and you like what you see, think about subscribing. If you liked this video, please hit like, share it with your friends, all those things. I added some glitter paint to the butterflies, hoping that will sparkle them up a little bit, help them to stand out. But thank you all for watching.